Okay, she's up in the air. It's been up in the air for about an hour now. I've had the fan on her because I was driving her this morning to get some parts. She's nice and cool now. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to service this transmission on this VE. So what I'll end up doing is I'll take this pan off. There's a filter inside. We'll pull the filter off. There's a little grommet that goes up inside where the filter goes into. I'll pull that out and put the new one in that comes with the filter. Then we'll put a gasket on this, put the filter back in, put the base back on the transmission, then we'll pump it up and fill it up with oil. So what I'll end up doing is, to start with, I'll undo this. I'll obviously put a tray underneath here to catch all the oil. Undo this. About a litre of oil will probably come out, and then I'll back off all these bolts around here, about these 8 of them, and then I'll just make sure this is, I just pry it loose just a little bit. This tray will start bending down a little bit, so I'll just undo these 3 here, and then the tray will start bending down like that. All the oil will fall out, making life a lot easier, and then I'll undo these last 4 ones here, just slowly, and all the oil will fall out. Then we'll repeat the process in reverse and put everything back together once we've got the filter and the oil and the old gasket off. So yeah, keep watching. But if we have a look inside here, look at that motor. I've owned this car for about 11 years now, and no oil leaks anywhere. It's in pristine condition, this car. It's got 130 on the clock now after 11 years, so that's about 11,000 kilometers a year, which is nothing. But yeah, she looks good. So anyway, once I've done this, I'll also do a radiator flush, a full flush of that one, and I'll also be doing a cabin filter. Let's just make one big recording, and I'll put on time lapse now so you can just watch me speed through it. Cheers. Okay, we've got the pan off, as you can see. There's the filter right there, that black thing there. I'll be taking that off in a second, but looks pretty good. Oil's not too bad actually. It's got a lot of red look in it, so it's not burnt or anything, so probably perfect timing for this. If we have a look down on this pan, you can see the colour right there, how good it is. But magnet looks, there's a little bit on there, but not much, a little bit. So that's pretty good, hardly any more wearing on this car, so there's hardly any shavings at all, so that's pretty good. Real happy with that. Alright, go back to pulling this filter out, and we'll put the new one in, clean everything up, put the pan back on, the gasket, seal it all back up, and top it up with oil. Okay, as you can see, I've got the pan back on. I did try to videotape this. The GoPro forgot to record it, but anyway, it's not that hard. Well, you would have seen me put the gasket on top of the pan, and all I did was put the pan back up there and put all the screws in and just tighten them down. Don't do them too tight. I'm not sure what the torque is, but I've done a few of these back in the day, and you don't need to do them up real tight because there's so many bolts up there. Then what I did was I put some oil in there. There's the filler plug. It's up here, if you can see it. All you do is you pull that plug up, pull that up, and then that plug will just pull right out. So if you want me to do it right now, I'll show you. It's not that hard if I can get everything in there. Put that in there, push it up, and then the pull plug, it just comes right out. It's as simple as that. And then when you put it back in, just push it back down, and then that locks it back in. So hopefully that come out in the video. That's how you put the transmission oil back into the VE 2013 Commodore. This is the 6-speed one. There was about 4.5 litres that come out, so I pulled the drain plug out, obviously, which I showed you. I started pumping in, about 3 litres went in before it started coming out of here. Then I put the plug back in and put another 1.5 litres in. So there's 4.5 litres in there, exactly what come out. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a radiator flush. I've taken all the under panels off. There's one right there, and there's another one right there. As you can see, there's a radiator hose right here. That one there. So I'm going to take it off, undo the cap at the top and take this off. It's obviously going to make a mess. Water's going to flow all here, so I'll do my best to catch it. For those of you who don't know where the radiator cap is, there's the radiator right there. And the radiator cap used to be along the top here somewhere, but it ain't. So where it is now, I'll show you. Take this cover off. There it is, right there. So if you undo that, that will help all the water start coming out. So we'll just leave that cap off for the time being. There's still water coming out of there, still drizzling. So I might as well let it keep drizzling out because you want to get as much of that old stuff out as possible. I just started the car just to crank it on, turn the heater on so you get a little bit more out. So there's going to be a bit of air in there. While that's all dripping out, I'll go and put the cabin filter in. And what we're going to do now is going to undo this. Got a cabin air filter underneath there. So I'm going to have to take off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, but that cover will come off and then I'll be able to get into the air filter. Okay, so there you go, there's my air filter. It's not too bad. It's, you know, it's a bit filthy obviously, but it's not really crappy. There's a few leaves in there, not too much. So we're going to put a new one in. Get rid of that. That's these clips. So what you do with these clips, you get this tool and you put it underneath one end, and you might have to pry the other end up. You can use your fingernail usually. If you pry that up like that, it comes out if you want. As you can see, it comes out, gets back in like that. But what happens is that closes like that, and then when you push that, because it's just a push-in one, it's not a screw-in one, when you push it in, that expands out and then it can't pull out. So just simply just go like that, lift it up, pull it out, and that should just pull straight out. It's as simple as that. So there you go, there's a new air filter, nice and clean. Installing it's just as simple. You just drop it in, make sure you put it in the right way. It looks like it goes in that way. Simple as that. Put this back in. Just slides in. We got our clips again. They're all pulled up. Push down. Put it in. Push down. Push down. And that's it, the air filter's done. Simple as that. Okay, so what I'll do here is I'll just put the hose back on. As you can see it's off down there. We'll just stick the hose back on. and then I'll go get the clamp and push that clamp all the way back up to there. I'll need 2 hands to do that. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I've got some concentrate, the correct one for the Holden VE Commodore. So this is 9 litres, this bucket. These 2 things will make up 10 litres. So we got 5 litres in there and 5 litres there. So I'll put close to 4.5 litres of each in, and then we'll top up the car, go from there. Best way to fill it up is tip it on an angle. Most people try to do it like that and you'll make a mess. So tip it on an angle like that. See? No spill. Same thing, tip it on an angle. So there we go. 4 litres of each actually, so there's 8 litres there. So I'm going to tip that in the car right now. So I'll just take the lid off, put it up there. Got a funnel, it's not a real big funnel, should be a bigger one, but I can't find one. But I'm going a little bit overkill here, but this is a painter's strainer. I'm just going to use it in case there's any foreigners in this old container. And we'll pour it in. When I say foreigners, I mean, you know, like bits of whatever, muck won't go in there now because I've got this strainer. I'll just wait for that to go down, it's nearly down. Okay, so that's how it's done. I've just taken the car for a quick lap around the block and check the coolant level. Yep, she looks good. So we'll put that back on. Make sure it's down tight too. We'll put the cover plate back on. Okay, so the cover plate's back on. So everything's been completed. We've put in a cabin filter. We've changed and flushed the radiator fluid. We've done a transmission flush, not a full flush, but what I'll end up doing is I'll probably run that around for about a month. I'll put it back up on the hoist, take it back down again, take all that oil out, and I'll put some new fresh oil in it again. So that's it, guys. Car's now ready, all finished, completed. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed it all. Give it a like if you do, and I'll see you on the next episode. Okay, see ya.